Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Let's go. It is 6:04. It is 45 degrees out, but it's going to be raining pretty much on and off all day today. Be ready for that. Brian and Kenzie, Q101. Give us that proof of life check-in, 312-591-8300. We announced yesterday at the end of the show with Lauren, a show with the Offspring coming up. So we'll have tickets for that coming up at 8 o'clock. Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, what a show. That is coming up at 8. We'll have those tickets. Plus, we have Tom Papa tickets, comedian tickets coming up in our music entertainment news at 8:50. Chicago Wolves tickets at sports. A lot of stuff for you this morning. Some free experiences, including pretty awesome Lincoln Park in London. We'll give you the first key word for that in about 7 minutes. Lincoln Park in London, a full trip. All that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. It was such a great time with the Bears game last year. The last good Bears game, really.
I know. I feel like they should send us to check up on Lincoln Park. Make sure they're doing okay. They like the city.
Hey, London's still good? Y'all still good here?
What do you think? Something dramatically changed?
Possibly.
Possibly. You never know until you see it in person. Seeing is believing.
That is Kenzie trying to get a trip to London.
I know. I'll be
Smart.
texting in with everybody.
So we'll have that first key word in 7 minutes, as today is Fat Tuesday. Now, I don't mean to live in the past and back in the day, but, you know, here at Q101, back in the day, the station will be loaded with punchkis by now. The big, fat, powdery jelly donuts. They'd be just stacks and stacks and stacks of them. I don't see any here. Did somebody eat them overnight, or where are they at? I don't know.
It could have been Kevin overnight.
Oh, God. He takes everything.
I know.
I just was dying. It's one of my big joys of leaving the show at 10, and I will for sure go grab some. I'm not sure where I'm going to go yet, which bakery I'm going to go to. I used to go to Dinkle's back in the day on the north side. It closed.
That's so cute. Dinkles, the bakery.
Kenzie, when Dinkle's closed, it was a whole thing.
Oh, my God. That's adorable. How could Dinkles close?
You're damn right. You're damn right. It closed after 90 years. And you know what's even sadder out there is that, you know, they closed and people said, well, they're probably building a condo building there. The family finally sold out. The bakery that's been there and delivered the best goods in Chicagoland for so long. And they're just going to, you know, cash out. The kids probably want to take care of it anymore. And they sell out. The building has been sitting there with the donut machines in the window because I go by it and look in. The machines are still sitting there. It's been closed for 4 years. Nothing has happened. They could have been operating properly for this many years and then sold it and then build a condo building or whatever.
I do imagine that maybe that building's actually empty, and Brian just imagines all the donut stuff inside of it.
It's like a fever dream. We got stuck in the desert.
He's like, why are they making donuts every day and not letting me inside?
That happened to a Dairy Queen in the South Loop, too, where the Dairy Queen closed overnight, but all the ice cream stuff was still there. It's like, you guys could just keep going.
Yeah, well, what's the point?
Dairy Queen's still open down the street. I don't understand why this one closed.
Now you've got me questioning myself, but I'm pretty sure the donut machines are still there. It's right across from Chicago Music Exchange, the greatest guitar store in the country.
What a little hotspot for you.
I used to buy some strings to get a donut. I would dream of buying a $10,000 guitar, a vintage guitar. I used to do that. That was my
You
day.
can still smell them in the air, the waft of fried dough.
You know, there's a movie, in case hasn't seen it yet, A Bronx Tale, where the message is the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Those donut machines sitting there not moving, making donuts is the saddest thing on earth. That's wasted talent.
You should buy it. You could you could give them a house and a donut shop finally.
If I would have known that they were available to somebody to take over, I would have. I just thought the building was going to come down as soon as they closed. What the hell happened? It's unbelievable.
I'm going to look into it for Kenzie's crime.
Please. We do have Kenzie's Crimes today at 8:20. It will not be on Dinkles on why they closed and why nothing's happened since they've closed. If anybody knows anything. I know we had a listener that worked there. Their daughter worked there for a while. I don't know. Somebody knows something more than I do.
Maybe that's where Ariana Grande licked the donuts. Is that where it happened?
Do you want to move in there, make it residential instead of commercial? Maybe you could just move into a house with a donut maker.
An awesome donut kitchen.
Yeah.
Maybe they're having trouble selling the building. I need a house. They got donut machines in there. It sounds like a match made in heaven.
Sounds like it's everything you need.
Oh,
The
man.
problem is you've been looking at homes when really you need a bakery.
Yeah. Let's put an air mattress in there. Steve checked in from Cherville this morning and said there's a great bakery right by him, but I can't make the trip to Cherville today. I just can't do it. I love you. I love Cherville. I love going over there. So much great eats, but I can't make that today.
Well, if you really loved them, you'd make it today.
I
Yeah.
know.
What are you? And I don't mean this to be insulting. What are you doing? that
See,
you
here's the
can't-
thing. Whenever Kenzie says, I don't mean to be mean or insulting, the next thing's going to be insulting. You think I have nothing to do all day?
I think that you could go to Cherville. That's all.
What's the round trip
And
there?
then you
Cherville?
really
Round trip.
Can I go to Cherville in the commercial break and get those donuts?
Well, if you drive
I'll
fast
allow
enough.
it. I mean,
yeah.
you're getting donut. You can just call in and do the show.
Let me see here. Cherville directions right now, 51 minutes.
That's nothing.
That's not even bad. That's like how long it takes me to get home and back.
So I'm not back for 2 hours. You guys good? I gotta get some donuts.
That's fine.
Play a few long
Case,
songs.
push the buttons.
Yeah,
You get over there.
I'll play Freebird next. It's coming
Got
up.
a few long Chili Pepper songs in there. So you call it a day.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Now it's time to go big in England with a chance to see Lincoln Park and Spirit Box at Wembley Stadium in London.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd.
Standard text and data rates apply. Please don't text and drive.
Q 101.
Well, it's your first opportunity today, and actually you can use this word all morning. So if you get the word but you can't text it right away, just hold on to it. And you can do it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour, and still enter for a chance to go see Lincoln Park in London. The key word is spirit, as in Spirit Box, the band playing with Lincoln Park. Text that to 95819. That's our contest text number, so it's a different one than usual. 95819. Text SPIRIT, SPIRIT, right now for a chance to get $500 spending cash when you go on the trip and get the 2 concert tickets to the show. Round trip air, 3-night hotel, London, Lincoln Park, Spirit Box. You'll meet Spirit Box at Wembley Stadium. This is elite.
Woo!
This is what we do here at Q101. We give these elite, unique journeys with the music, and that's what you're going to get here. So text SPIRIT to 95819 right now for your chance to win. Again, you don't have to do it this second, but you do it once today before 9 o'clock and get in. Now time for a fact that makes your brain go. And that wasn't it about us sending you to London for Lincoln Park. New dating term out there, and everybody going on a first date. There's so many terms now, so many things to keep up on that describe your situation. But this one's called floodlighting. And I know I've experienced this on a first date, and whether I've done it or the other person has done it. But what do you think floodlighting means, Kenzie, in going on a first date? Floodlighting.
I wonder if it's if you cry on the first date.
Oh my God. Yes, I've had that.
Happy or sad, I suppose. But I wonder if it's if you cry on the first date.
Have you ever cried on a first date?
No, I mean internally because I wanted to leave so bad.
Yeah. Never just couldn't hold it in and just.
I'm like,
Did you ever cry in the car after you left?
yes. So I'm like, this isn't gonna go good.
She's gonna cry in the car, isn't she? Case, what do you think it means? Floodlighting.
I'm going to piggyback off Kenzie's answer. This is where my head was at, too. If gaslighting is saying something that makes the other person believe essentially that they're crazy, floodlighting is probably fake crying in order to get your way. Like maybe I said I'm not going to pay for dessert on the first date. They start crying. All of a sudden, they floodlight me. Now they've got a cheesecake coming to their table.
Now I just want some cheesecake because I'm still wanting some punchkis for Fat Tuesday here. Don't have any.
Oh my God, Brian.
Yeah, you'll just take
Control
anything.
yourself.
Those are 2 totally different things.
I know. I take some cheese. I almost said a cheese steak. I take a cheesesteak and cheesecake and a punchki right now.
It sounds like you take some cheese, too. Just a cheese slice.
Why not? All right, when we come back here after the cranberries, we'll tell you what floodlighting means. Have you done it? Has a person on a first date with you done it? Well, we'll tell you. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, 3 minutes away with the fact that makes your brain go.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and time for the fact that makes your brain go. Make sure you're up to date on all the latest terminology with dating. And this one is floodlighting. Floodlighting. Kenzie thinks it's when you cry. And what was the reasoning on when you cry, Kenzie, in the date? Just cry in
I
general?
said if you cry on the first date because you're letting out such like an emotional thing so early, I would think it's crying on the first date, happy or sad.
And Kay said it was crying to end up getting free cheesecake.
Naturally.
Naturally, that's what you would
His
do.
is manipulative crying.
Yeah, which happens all the time out there.
Apparently.
You're both not right in this one. It had nothing to do with crying, but I guess it could lead to that somewhat. But opening up the floodgates, pouring out your heart on the first date, spilling everything about your previous relationship dramas and childhood trauma.
Oh,
that,
wow.
That is floodlighting in dating today in the first date. So the first date, you just lay it all out there.
Wow.
And they always say when you go on a first date, don't talk about your past relationship or most recent relationship. Don't do that because you'll just sound not necessarily crazy, but no one wants to hear about it in the first date. They're trying to get to know you. Instead, you're saying, yeah, well, here's what she did this day, or here's what he did. It's kind of like, ugh. I don't know if you've ever had that experience.
I like to know. Well, I would like to know how long somebody's been single, like if they've had serious relationships or not. So I am interested in that kind of stuff. I don't want to spend an hour talking about your past, but if you're like, yeah, I was with somebody 5 years ago, that was my last serious relationship, ended because of and then you move on. I like a little bit of information about what went on there.
I was curious.
Yeah,
What-
because what am I working with? Somebody who can't commit? What's going on?
Is there something in your head that you can remember about a first date where someone's overshared?
I went on a first date where someone was lying the whole time
How'd you know?
because I went to high school with them.
Oh, okay. That's different. You had some
And-
pre-knowledge.
Right. So we went on a date like more near like college. It was years later. They'd asked me out like 75 times. I caved in after I got cheated on. I shouldn't have caved because I should have known I didn't want to do it. I was like, maybe I'll give them a chance. And all the things they were saying that they had done and accomplished and all these things and like what they're in the middle of working on. Look, the famous music producers they're working with. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I just had to sit there and listen to like just the spewing of like all these lies.
And that person was Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Was working with a great producer, Kenzie. That's the one. He didn't tell a lie on that
Yeah.
one.
That's right.
Son of a bitch.
Case, what about you?
Well, floodlighting is wrong. I don't want to be right. When I go on a first date, I'm giving them a behind the music episode. They're seeing the rise, the fall, the return. They're getting my life story whether they want it or not. Because what happens when you finish a great behind the music? You go, I got to spend more time with this band. I should really give them a listen. ABC's of Life, same thing. Again, I'm giving you all the information I've got. I'm giving you everything I have on the first date. You're probably not going to get a word in, but you know what? I tell a pretty good life story.
I will say that you told me notoriously you never got second dates.
Really went on a stretch where I was only going on first dates. Not a lot of follow-ups.
But it makes the person that you're with, and now for 2 years and living with, she probably bought that behind the music theme you set out there on and said, this is the guy for me.
Buyer's remorse, but yeah, she bought it at the time.
You know,
Lifelong contract.
buyer's
No return.
remorse.
No returnsies.
I said, you are stuck.
Well, once you move in with someone, it's hard to get them out of the house.
This is what she figured out. This is what she's learned.
I always say people are rushing to move in. I go, just think for a second what you're doing. Think.
I think if you had to ask her,
Yeah.
she would have not done that.
It's really easy to keep dating. It's really easy to keep doing that. But once they're in your house or you're in their house, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'd like to interview some of those people that you said all this stuff to, and the ones that said, was it too much? Did I get too much information from Case?
Well,
Yeah.
Brian, you said that this did happen to you on a first date. Was it you or was it the girl?
The oversharing part?
Yeah.
Well, she overshared, and this was is this the one I'm talking about? I think I told you about where she milked me for a $300 dinner.
Yes.
At
Capital Grill.
God, you guys remember better than I do. God.
Okay, you leave, Case, and I will tell the story.
I was trying to remember which steakhouse it was.
So this sucker took some girl to Capital Grill, and she milked him for everything he's got.
Now she was
$300 dinner.
she was not only an overshare. She told me she was stealing from her company, and wanted me to get involved with it.
Oh, well, you need money.
She wanted to help give you some of the money back. You're so ungrateful.
Yeah,
The dinner's too expensive. She's trying to give you money. You don't want it.
You could have bought a house with that money.
Well, actually, if I'd put that in like some Bitcoin back then, because it was a while back, yes, I could have bought the Sears Tower
That's
by
what you
this
should have
point.
done. Invested in crypto. Good idea.
Yeah, I should have, because she got in this whole scheme of how she's stealing from work 5 minutes into the date and goes, I need some help with this. Are you in? I go, no, I am not in. I wanted to leave right then, but then she ordered a martini, and then she got appetizers. Before I knew it, it was a $300 dinner.
This is the problem with you. You should have been like Jeremy Renner in The Town, a movie that I've now seen.
Oh, good.
Where all you say is, whose car are we taking? You got to be a ride or die, Brian. This woman, if she was good looking enough to have you take her to Capitol Grill, you should be able to commit a felony with her.
Also, I think it's fair. I'd like to commit that. I think that if somebody admits to a felony that they're currently partaking in and you're no longer interested within the first few minutes, you could be like, I appreciate you coming out. I will buy your first drink, but I am going to leave because of the whole felony thing. And you could have bought her martini and left. The fact that you don't have, like, for lack of a better word, I don't want to say courage because it sounds mean, but you didn't have, like, the oomph to just be like, I'm going to go ahead and end what's happening here.
Well, to Case's point, I wanted to hear more on how this was going on. I wanted to hear more of everything.
And also, I've been on some dates, first dates, where 5 minutes in, I knew I'm never seeing this person again. But when you're in the restaurant sitting at the table with them, you're still holding out hope that, hey, maybe I'm going to score by the end of the night. Let's at least see where this goes. Then we'll
still
call.
want to sleep with them?
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys.
How
You don't
dare
even
you
like
question that
them.
thought?
You find them obnoxious and you never want to sleep with them again, you never want to see them again, but you want to sleep with them?
Correct.
That
Yeah,
is so weird.
you can separate morals from sex easily.
But you think they're annoying.
Well, not only annoying, but a felon, as you said.
I mean, this is what I'm saying.
Which is worse.
Yeah. By the way, before I put a lid on that story, I wanted to go to Maggiano's. I didn't want to go to Capitol Grill because I knew Maggiano's would be a delicious dinner.
Family style, absolutely.
But lower priced.
But you still wanted to sleep with her. You would have slept with her that night. The annoying felon that robbed you for $300.
Calling her the annoying felon is a way to label her for life, which is pretty interesting. There you go. Floodlighting. Don't do it. Don't overshare on a first date. Just enjoy yourself. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, coming up here in 4 minutes after the Smashing Pumpkins, I'll tell you where you can take on Brian, Kenzie, and Case in a 3-on-3 basketball game. That's coming up. Yeah. We're gonna play hoops against the listeners.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I like that, ride or die. Basically, she said, what car are we taking?
I love Case watches 50 movies. Now he's making references on a great one from the town.
Big movie guy.
Love it.
I watched Nora last night. I can't get enough of these movies.
We'll hear about that Oscar winner. We'll hear about that in music entertainment news later on. First, a clip from one of our favorite comedians, Nate Bargatze, about history. Kenzie loves those history questions, which are coming up in Clash with Kenzie. We have some prizes for you there, but here's Nate Bargatze.
And I still say a lot of words wrong. That's what I don't understand. Civil War, that's how I say it. Instead of civil, I go Silver War. Because I tell you, I don't even know anything about the Civil War. I don't know anything about history. And I can tell because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat.
Thunderous ovation.
On a laughs
What
there.
is going to happen? I watched Pearl Harbor. I was as surprised as they were.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.